Tough break for last year's most popular driver, Larry Gunzelman, who currently was 4th in the Winston West point standing. He started lap 25 at caution number 3, lasted for 3 laps, and now it's the Winston Cup regulars up front with David Green and Kenny Schrader a car length apart in turn 2.
And Gary Smith and Mike Wallace, that's a battle for 3rd and 4th. Schrader taking a look for the lead. Didn't take him long, did he, Kyle?
Didn't take him long. It's played right back in. The cautions and the strategies that they've put into effect the first part of this race, the race has come right back to Kenny Schrader right now.
Wallace in the car number 91 did not make the field for the Winston Cup Show, the California 500 presented by NASCAR tomorrow, and he now makes a move trying to take the 3rd spot away.
He dives on the inside of Gary Smith, and he will take that 3rd spot away. So put the NASCAR Winston Cup regulars 1, 2, 3, Schrader, Green, and Mike Wallace.
And Kyle, I'm very impressed with Gary Smith, a rookie at 28 years of age, running with these guys at these speeds on a brand new racetrack.
Yeah, he's running right there with him. You know, Mike Wallace tried him a minute ago going in 1. He never hesitated. He just stuffed him back down in there and go in behind David Green and those guys. He's been really, really impressive, and he's driving a smart race. He's learning from what these guys are doing. Vinny will tell you, when you first start driving a race car, when you're a rookie on a speedway or somewhere, you want to fall in behind the better drivers and learn from them, and that's what he's doing right now.
The voices you're hearing, Kyle Petty, expert analyst, along with Benny Parsons, yours truly, Jerry Punch in the booth, Jack Root and Bill Weber on pit road, bringing you live coverage from NASCAR's newest racetrack, the California Speedway here in sunny Southern California.
Ronnie Esau, the 2 car, going by Jeff Davis. Jeff Davis taking over the 5th spot. Kyle takes a ride around the California Speedway along with Jeff Davis. Coming off turn 4, let the car go up against the wall. What do you do now?
You let it sweep up, but you know, this is a funny place. He's running really a car length down. If you watch him run down the straightaway, they don't really go out next to the wall like they do at Michigan. You come way down the front stretch here. There's numbers on the wall. You run it down into 2 or 3, and you stay way out. See how there's a car going under him right here. He's out a little further than what he should be, obviously. But then you try to get right back down to the bottom, roll through the center part of the corner, really free, jump back in the gas, and drive it straight out. And, you know, Mark Martin made an interesting point the other day. There's plenty of room to the outside of you. You think you want to be down on the inside, and you think you're running out of room, but there's tons of room to the outside. Same way back down into 3. You just dive back down to the bottom.
All right, Mike Wallace being shown in 3rd position. That's the span-colored car back behind, just in front of Gary Smith. And Smith now giving Wallace all he can handle here in the tri-oval as we go to the Mike Wallace pits and Bill Weber.
Well, Mike Wallace wanted to follow Kenny Schrader to the front. Originally in traffic, he didn't have that opportunity, but now he's worked his way up there. However, a possibility that 91 Spam car could be overheating. A report of that from the crew, so we'll check into that. So Mike Wallace with a good run, but might be having some problems out on the racetrack. Meanwhile, for Larry Gunzelman, his car continues to sit on pit road. They broke the drag link, which connects the left and right side steering. They grabbed an idler out of there. So he still sits here jacked up on the side on pit road. Very disappointing for these guys.
Exactly what Benny Parsons and Kyle Petty were talking about, the heavy impact in the wall, breaking some steering components in the front of Gunzelman's car, and he will take a while to make the repairs.
The 91 car of Mike Wallace, you're talking about having a little bit of problems with him overheating. He came right out of Winston Cup qualifying into this race. He didn't get any practice. He didn't get anything other than to just do it, and maybe they didn't get enough tape off of it from that segment to this segment.
We see Craig Rayburn in the 9 car. There's Woodside in the 07. We saw him change 4 tires. He's working his way back. Also, Butch Gilliland in the 38 car, trying to work their way back to the front.
Veteran, the last time the Winston West cars ran in Southern California at Riverside. He was the winner in the Saturday show, the preview, the Winston Cup's finale. He would like to win this one as NASCAR has come back to Southern California. That's the car number 2 of Esau.
And the 00 car, Scott Gaylord, he spent a lot of laps on pit road with the hood up working on the car. I thought that he had lost a cylinder. He was running on 7 cylinders, but he was back on 8, trying to work his way toward the front.
Gaylord Gaylord, the 00, said his engine in the car is probably about 8 or 9 years old. He bought it. It was an old Jimmy Means motor. Jimmy Means, a former Winston Cup independent driver, went to Sabco. And now Gaylord, not afraid to push the button, Kyle, on that motor, trying to take the position away.
The draft is really important here, and it does work down the straightaway. And you saw him be able to suck up off the corner here, turn 4, use the draft to his advantage down the front stretch, and make the move to the inside.
Well, back up front, Kenny Schrader, Winston Cup regular. Last time he was in victory lane was last November in a Winston West race at Las Vegas. He's trying to roll the dice today and maybe make it a special weekend for him at California Speedway. Back with more in a moment. Stay with us.
ABC Sports coverage of the Auto Club 200, brought to you by the Exide NASCAR Select. So reliable, it's the official battery of NASCAR. Pennzoil, formulated for today's stop-and-go driving. Stop, go, Pennzoil. Miller Genuine Draft, it reminds you it's time for a good old macro brew. And the Exide NASCAR Select at Kmart. NASCAR performance at Kmart low prices.
We at ABC Sports are proud to be here to debut the brand new California Speedway for today's Auto Club 200 NASCAR Winston West event. Yeah, NASCAR has come calling back to sunny Southern California. And what a beautiful scene when setting we have. These aerial shots courtesy of the fine folks at Pennzoil and our Pennzoil copter cam. Well, the car number 07 is pulled on the pit road, and now more and more the point leaders having troubles, right, Bill Weber?
Absolutely, Jerry. Opportunity of a lifetime today for Sean Woodside.
Bring the left side up and look at underneath.
In the 07 car, but he's pulled back to pit road. The 22 car smoking on the track, but the steering wheel comes off for Woodside. It's an engine failure here in the 07 car. So a strong start to the season. He's got 4 top 5s in the first 6 races, but not today.
A tough break for the 26-year-old rookie who had 3 second-place finishes. But meanwhile, up front, these guys are concerned about what's happening on pit road. Benny Parsons, they want to win this thing.
They sure do. There's Kenny Schrader, the green and white car, followed by David Green, the 96. There comes Mike Wallace and Gary Smith. Great battle for the top 4 positions. There go by L.J. Pryor in the 7 car.
And Kyle, they made an adjustment on Mike Wallace's car as the caution is on the speedway.
They might be looking at some oil. St. James Davis is trying to coast his car into the pit area. So it might be oil on the speedway as they take the caution flag.
And we are being told now oil is on the racetrack. There is St. James Davis, the veteran, with his damaged car coming down. His Pontiac comes to the pits. And now for the 4th time today here at California Speedway, we will wave the caution flag.
Crew sticking their head in the window saying, St. James, what's going on? He tells them the engine has gone south.
Meanwhile, Bill Weber is caught up with one disappointed driver.
Very disappointed. I know your crew is too. They had to go back to the shop last night and get a different engine and put it in this morning, and it unfortunately didn't live.
No, it was running pretty good for a while. You know, the Pontiac was up front. You know, we were running, just kind of pacing ourselves, seeing if it would stay together. And, you know, the whole Golden West crew with Unical behind us and everybody, you know, we had a good run, but she blew up. I missed the wreck, so at least the car's in one piece. You know, our motor program kind of got on a sad note here this weekend, but we'll be ready for Monroe, Washington.
A strong start to this season for you. Obviously, a tremendous opportunity to move into this ride.
Yeah, Ray Claridge and the whole team gave me a great opportunity. You know, it's probably one of the best cars on the West Coast, and you know, I just show up here and drive these cars, and I'm learning a lot. First time we've been to a big track, but we've been competitive everywhere, and I just really got to thank them.
Okay, leaders on pit road. Let's go to Jack.
And Bill, as they come down pit road, Mike Wallace will be the first to hit his pit box. Now remember, they are allowed to take on one side of tires, and that's exactly what first, second, and third in this race are doing. Kenny Schrader is furthest down across start-finish line. You see they're changing the right sides. Mike Wallace is changing the right sides. He's just about finished. Schrader's done, and David Green is second out of the box. He was right behind, but Wallace is still being worked on, Bill.
Right side tires and fuel for Gary Smith. They're done. He's on his way back out onto the track. The 91 still sitting on pit road. restarts to begin the exit, and Mike Wallace chases the rest of the field down the pits and back out onto the track.
I wouldn't be a bit surprised if Mike Wallace crew didn't realize they couldn't change 4 tires. They went around the car, they jacked the left sides up. I think they started to change the tires, and someone said, wait a minute, you can only change 2 tires, because as Kyle Petty said, this car tried to qualify for the Winston Cup race, and 15 minutes later, he was lined up to run this race. So I bet you they thought they were going to change 4, and all of a sudden realized the rules dictate they can only change 2. Jack Carew, did you ask about that?
Hey, Benny, I think what they were doing down there is that they were checking those tires, but they really wanted to make sure they got every drop of fuel into that car. They were talking about doing a 2-tire change, check the other tires, but let's get every drop of fuel we can into this car, and I think that's what was taking them so long down there.
He knows what happened to his older brother Rusty at Michigan in the NASCAR race last week. They didn't get it completely full, and then you end up coasting down pit road with a few laps to go. Under caution for the 4th time today at California Speedway. Remember, coming up next on ABC's Wide World of Sports at a special time, 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific, the Summer X Games from San Diego. Coverage includes the Street Luge, bicycle stunt street events, and sky surfing competition. That's coming up next, X Games in San Diego. Back in a moment. Back in Fontana, California. Glad to have you with us. Our ABC Sports coverage of the NASCAR Winston West Auto Club 200. Coming off the 4th caution flag today. Let's check in quickly with Jack Carew.
Well, Jerry, let's update you on Mike Wallace. You know, he came in. They still believe that they can go the distance on that one stop. I asked them about 60 laps. They said, we'll have to do some calculating. In the meantime, David Green, he's totally thrown his strategy out the window. He said, when Schrader came in for tires, figured, forget the fuel. We got to get tires. And now we're back to Green.
All right, Butch Gilliland will be the leader. He is the Winston West point leader after 6 events. We restart on lap 43, just 7 laps away from halfway here at California Speedway.
Cars going by. That's Kevin Culver on the inside, the 25 car. Mike Wallace goes by, and here is a battle for the lead. Schrader on the inside of Gilliland in turn 3 and puts Schrader back in first.
Chevrolet made the move on the bottom of the racetrack, and now looking out the back, you see David Green. His Chevrolet right on the rear of the Ford Thunderbird of Butch Gilliland.
David's pulled out here. He doesn't want to lose touch with Kenny Schrader. He was really, it seems like the longer Schrader run, the better David Green got, because he was able to stay right with him, not really lose touch, and be there if the thing did go, if a long green section did come about, then he would be able to make a move.
And the slow car on the racetrack is the car number 86. That is Rich Woodland Jr. from the Woodland Farms Chevrolet. Apparently having a bit of a problem, not up to full speed.
Woodland Farms, they raise ducks. About 1 million ducks a year, he told me. And we see David Green trying to get by on the outside of Butch Gilliland. And I tell you what, Kyle, that 38 car is going down the straightaway.
Yeah, and David's better through the corner. He runs up in the middle of the corner if you watch it, but the Ford just accelerates up off the corner and pretty much leaves him a little bit here.
That black car, we see black and red car right behind David Smith is Gary Smith. 45 car. Catching up with this group of cars.
Mike Wallace had made a pit stop at top 10. That's out of the screen. Wallace is the car number 91, currently being shown in 5th position.